نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I'll share a short story with you, inshallah. There was a chap, and he had a really big garden. And you see all sorts of nice butterflies and nice insects and nice birds that used to come and fly in and fly out. He had a little bench at the bottom of his garden. And he used to sit on this bench and just admire, looking around, seeing the birds coming into his garden, seeing the butterflies flying around, sitting on the flowers, watching the bumblebees and the wasps, and watching time go by. He'd noticed when he was sat where he was that there was a sort of like a small shrub to his left. And on this small shrub, there was a cocoon. And for those of us who don't know what a cocoon is, it's where a caterpillar makes like a structure all the way around it, and it stays in there until eventually it sort of eats its way out or bites its way out and turns into a butterfly. So I'd seen this cocoon a few times over the last week, and he knew that it would be almost imminent that this butterfly would fly out. So he didn't want to miss it, so he'd go get his popcorn, sit there watching this cocoon to make sure he didn't miss this exciting episode in the life of this caterpillar changing into this butterfly. So one day he noticed that there was a small hole on the end of the cocoon. So it looked like something had been sort of biting away at it. And when he looked, he noticed that the caterpillar that was inside, you could see a head, but he couldn't really see the rest of it. So he thought, today must be the day. Today must be the special day in which this cocoon becomes, or this caterpillar appears from this cocoon into a beautiful butterfly. So he sits and he waits, and he can see the creature inside nibbling away, fighting its way out, pushing away, until the hole is reasonable size. Still not a very open hole, but it's a decent size now. And its head pops out. So its head pops out, and it's now struggling and pushing and using as much energy as it can to get out of this cocoon. It's sick and tired of it. It's been in this cocoon for a long time. Wants to get out. Obviously, being a caterpillar is not exactly exciting. You just sit on a branch or sit on a twig and you just move around. And at best, you get to eat some leaves or something. Once you become a butterfly, everybody admires you for your beauty. You can fly around wherever you want. You're no longer limited to just crawling on a branch or a twig. So he's really looking forward to it. So this, let's call it a butterfly now, is pushing its way out. Head pops out. So this man gets a little bit happy, thinking, okay, this is close now. But the hole is not huge, so it can't just fly out. So what it does is starts to push a little bit more, until, I don't know, you can call it shoulders, but the top part of the butterfly comes out. And the man looks at the amazing patterns and colors on the wings of the butterfly, and he thinks it was worthwhile the wait. He wants to see what this bird looks like, or rather butterfly looks like, once it comes out in full. So he's pushing away. He's been at this now for a good hour or two, can't get out, struggling a little bit. So man doesn't know what to do. He thinks, shall I sort of peel away the cocoon so it can fly out? Then he thinks, if I start to touch it, would he get scared? So he's unsure what to do, because he can see that the butterfly is struggling. Butterfly is putting a shift in, okay, but it can't get out. Every now and then it stops, then it tries again, and it stops, and it tries again. So the man's watching, he decides to go inside and say, I'll come back later. Maybe it's got out of the cocoon then. Because he's getting a bit impatient watching this poor butterfly trying to get out. So when he comes back a few hours later, he finds that the butterfly is still stuck in the cocoon. It hasn't got out yet. So he thinks, and the hole hasn't got any bigger. So he thinks, has it died? Its head's not moving. Its wings aren't moving. Maybe it's died. So he gets a piece of stem from a flower and just sort of prods it. And when he prods it, it moves again. Obviously, it's got startled. It moves, and it tries to get back out again. So he thinks it's still alive. So he goes, you know what? I've waited enough. I'm going to go inside and get maybe a little scissors or something, and I'll get it out. I'll help it. It's stuck. He needs help. If he could get out, he'd have got out. He needs help. So he goes inside. When he wants to find the scissors, which is about the right size, he doesn't get like a huge scissors. He'll end up cutting the butterfly in half. So he finds a little pair of scissors, and he goes out there, and he carefully starts to cut the cocoon. Because the butterfly hasn't moved for hours now. He's tired. He thinks if I leave it for any longer, it could die. And likewise, if a bird is flying around, it might see the head moving on the insect. It might think, looks like it's dinner time. Might swoop down, eat the butterfly. And I can do something about it. I can help the butterfly. Now I'm watching it. So he justified it to himself as to why he should take this next step and save the butterfly. So he cuts the cocoon and he sees some of the wings, more of the wings of the butterfly, and he's kind of feeling happy that, I did the right thing, because this creature, this beautiful creature, could have died, and I can see how beautiful it is. And when he's cut kind of like half the cocoon, he leaves it because it's big enough now for the butterfly to get out. So he sees the butterfly moving, starts to move his wings a little bit, and he thinks, okay, this is it, first flight. Springs out, plop, falls on the floor. So he thinks, okay, that's not what I expected. Isn't it supposed to fly off? Isn't that what butterfly is supposed to do? So he thinks, I know what, maybe it's just got out. Obviously it needs to kind of stretch its wings a little bit, build up the muscle power, and then it'll fly off. So he leaves it there, hoping that it will eventually fly. But half an hour later, it's still crawling on the floor. And then he notices something which he didn't notice before. He notices that the wings themselves haven't fully developed. They look really small. And he notices that his body is unusually big. His body is unusually big. And then as this butterfly, or half butterfly, half caterpillar, is strolling along, a bird swoops down, picks it up, gobbles it, and flies off. You might be thinking, what's the moral of the story there? Moral of the story. But before I give you the moral of the story, I'll give you another ni'mat of Allah. The butterfly can only make a certain size hole in the cocoon. It cannot make a big hole. It now needs to push itself through that small hole in order to get out. It will take hours to do that. In the process, the bodily fluid, which is inside the butterfly, as it's pushing itself out, is getting squeezed along the body. So as it's getting squeezed along the bodily fluid starts to go into its wings. So its wings grow. It's also being squeezed out of its main torso. Why? So that this thing can then fly off. The moral. In life, we face many difficulties. Times when we think we can't achieve what we wish to achieve. Times when we think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put a burden upon us that we cannot bear. where we start to doubt, where we start to question, or the thought of questioning Allah crosses our mind. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put that situation upon you in order for you to work hard and strive. Because it is musibah, it is difficulty which makes a person strong. So if we quickly put our hands up and ask for help, if we ask for help from people around us, or as soon as something difficult becomes upon us, we're asking Allah to remove that difficulty immediately, without being patient, without praying, worshipping Allah. Soon as some difficulty becomes, oh, I can't bear this difficulty, Ya Allah, remove this difficulty from me. Why have you placed this difficulty beyond me? I can't manage it, whatever, whatever. But rather, instead of the seeking of the help, we should work hard, because if we don't and the help does come, then we may never ever become the butterfly that we wish to become. So difficulties, hard times, situations which we feel are out of our control, are brought by Allah to strengthen us. Because there will be more things waiting for us in the future. And if we're not strong enough for those things, then we will collapse. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala builds us for those things. Always take the difficulty, be patient, and seek strength and seek support from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.